Hello and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we are hurtling straight into the future of swords and sorcery, spotlighting 5 upcoming medieval fantasy titles that promise ferocious combat, untamed magic, and worlds big enough to get lost in for days. These games are officially announced, but still unreleased, and each one is pushing next-gen tech to make dragons, zombie plagues, and alchemical catastrophes feel frighteningly real. We'll tear through them at breakneck speed, then wrap up with a quick salute to 3 legendary franchises being reforged for modern rigs. Ready your spellbooks, heft your broadswords, and let's dive right into the first game. Crimson Desert hurls you into a war-torn continent of Pywel, where famine, feuding baronies, and ancient monsters make life cheap and glory priceless. You play Macduff, a battle-weary mercenary captain burdened with both debts and the fate of a ragtag company that follows him into contracts, ranging from castle sieges to wyvern hunts. Combat is uncompromisingly physical. Think Witcher 3 swordplay spliced with Assassin's Creed parkour, then dialed up with mid-air grapples, environmental finishers, and mounts that double as battering rams. One moment you're carving through brigand lines on horseback, the next you're clinging to a dragon scales 300 feet above a burning keep. Towns bustle with NPC schedules, side quests pivot on moral choices, and serene diversions like fishing or falconry let you exhale between battles. Behind the spectacle is Pearl Abyss's proprietary BlackSpace Engine, flexing real-time weather, seamless interior to exterior loading, and a particle system robust enough to fill the sky with ember-lit siege arrows. The studio insists the sprawling campaign is strictly single-player, but optional arena challenges and trading posts allow drop-in co-op without turning the world into an MMO. A recent PAX East demo confirmed DLSS 4 support, pet training, and a full day-night cycle that alters patrol route and monster spawns. Official channels still promise a late 2025 launch on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series console, while a credible Korean financial leak pegs the 2nd of November 2025 as the internal target. If Pearl Abyss sticks the landing, Crimson Desert could marry Black Desert's visual punch to a narrative-driven open world the size and danger of Geralt's continent from The Witcher 3. Blight Survival drops 4 would-be heroes into an alternate 14th century no man's land, where a fungal plague reanimates corpses and twists armored knights into gore-slick berserkers. Sessions play out on large, semi-open maps, ruined abbeys, fog-choked marshes, and war-shattered villages, each stuffed with side routes, stealth grass, and physics traps that reward creative mayhem. Directional melee is the backbone. You parry, riposte, and limb target with longswords, bills, and crossbows, but stamina drains fast and even a glancing blow can break a shield or sever an arm. Everything you scavenge, from plague-tainted herbs to rare plate pauldrons, must be extracted back to camp to unlock new classes and craft tonics, echoing an extraction light loop closer to Hunt Showdown than left-click horde shooters. Haynear Studio courted viral fame with a 5-minute pre-alpha trailer in late 2022, then partnered with Dead by Daylight publisher Behavior Interactive in April of 2024 to scale the project's scope and bankroll dedicated servers. Since the deal, dev updates have shown the new marshlands biome, complete with corpse-weighted gallows that can snap and drown the unwary, and teased limited-time community playtest once the core loop sings. Officially, the release date remains to be announced, but industry trackers peg full launch no earlier than 2027, with Behavior confirming PC first and consoles under evaluation. Expect roguelike persistence, permadeath wipes, inventory but not camp upgrades, seasonal events, and deep cosmetic customization forged from spoiled mail and reclaimed relic steel. Alkahest is a first-person action-adventure RPG that fuses weighty Dark Messiah-style swordplay with a full alchemy sandbox. You step into the boots of the youngest son of a petty border lord, desperate to prove himself by investigating a string of goblin raids that threaten his father's domain. Every fight is a playground. Kick an axeman onto punji sticks, spike a lantern to flood a hallway with burning oil, or hurl a caustic phial that strips armor before you close in with a longsword. More than 100 brewable concoctions let you coat blades in fulminates, gulp stone skin draughts, or lob glass bombs that erupt into frost, and the Steam tags promise immersive sim freedom with side paths, stealth takedowns, and physics-driven traps across castles, crypts, and plague-ridden villages. Developer Push On, now roughly 40 strong, and publisher Hype Train Digital unveiled a new teaser in late May of 2025 that finally showed in-engine combat after last year's pre-rendered reveal sparked skepticism. The footage confirmed dismemberment physics, destructible shields, and dynamic torchlight, while a press blast noted the game has cracked Steam's top 100 most wishlisted chart. Consoles are now official. PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series joined the original PC release, though the launch window remains a simple to be announced. Behind the scenes, Push On says it's rebuilding every animation with full motion capture and is months deep into writing optional side quests that explore alchemical guild politics and the fallout of the Goblin incursion. If the team can deliver on its promise of fluid melee married to unpredictable potion craft, Alkahest could become the spiritual successor Dark Messiah fans have waited nearly 2 decades for. The Blood of the Dawnwalker thrusts you into snowbound Carpathian realm where vampiric nobles have toppled mortal kings and now war among themselves for dwindling human blood. You play Cohen, a newly cursed officer in the fallen royal army who must juggle daylight diplomacy, negotiating with desperate villages, hiring mercenaries, laying siege works, and nocturnal predation that grants supernatural, traversal, and blood magic abilities at the cost of slowly eroding your humanity. Every settlement runs on a living economy. Caravans you protect by day fill castle granaries, while night raids let you sabotage rival supply lines or enthrall key NPCs. Rebel Wolves tout a narrative sandbox structure. Major story arcs can play out in radically different sequence depending on whether you ally with resistance cells, pledge fealty to one of the ancient houses, or attempt the near-impossible task of curing your curse outright. The reveal trailer showed dynamic weather that blankets valleys in fog, boss fights against iron-shod church inquisitors, and physics-based castle destruction where ballista bolts can splinter parapets and expose defenders to moonlight. Founded by Witcher 3 game director Konrad Tomaskowitz, Rebel Wolves is building Dawnwalker entirely in Unreal Engine 5, using nanite to render candlelit keeps and lumen for real-time global illumination that shifts as clouds race across the full day-night cycle. Bandai Namco signed on as a global publisher in early 2025, confirming PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series support with full photo mode and eventual mod tools. Performance capture is more than halfway complete, and the studio has already recorded multiple language dubs to hit its worldwide 2026 launch target. Developers cite Dishonored's systemic level design and Vampire the Masquerade's morality loops as inspirations, but promise large-scale siege battles more akin to Mount and Blade where factions clash. If Rebel Wolves can weave those elements into a cohesive whole, the Blood of the Dawnwalker could redefine dark fantasy RPGs the way The Witcher 3 did a decade ago. God Save Birmingham strands you in a meticulously reconstructed 14th century market town just as a virulent corpse plague tears through its narrow lanes. Every timber-framed shop, parish aisle, and guild hall is fully enterable and shines under a first-person lens that tracks hunger, thirst, body temperature, and growing madness as nights drag on. Survival hinges on tangible medieval know-how. You boil murky water to kill cholera, hew oak boards to barricade lancet windows, and repurpose smithy bellows as improvised flamethrowers when plague knights batter the gates. Zombies shamble with full ragdoll physics. Cleave a leg and they crawl. Smash a door brace and they spill in swarms, turning each street fight into a desperate puzzle of noise management and resource triage. Period trades matter. Tanners tan hides into leather armor, masons reinforce crumbling walls, and monks copy antidote recipes into vellum tomes you can discover in candlelit scriptoria. Ocean Drive Studios debuted the project at Gamescom 2024, announcing a Steam Early Access launch slated for the 31st of October 2025, Halloween. Fittingly enough, the initial build ships solo only, but every action leaves persistent ghost data for future players. A smashed choir screen, looted reliquary, or barricaded alehouse may hint at someone else's last stand. Quarterly updates will add a branching story campaign, drop-in co-op for up to 2 survivors, and seasonal events such as frostbitten winters that freeze wells solid or summer heat waves that accelerate corpse decay. Cacao Games is bankrolling full voice acting for NPC diaries, dynamic plague mutations that evolve new enemy behaviors, and a permadeath ledger that chronicles every fallen character in the town Town's registry. If Ocean Drive nails its historical research and systemic depth, God Save Birmingham could become the zombie survival sim that finally marries hard history to truly nightmarish fantasy. Now it's time for a couple honorable mentions that I felt didn't deserve a spot on this list because they are either remakes or reboots, and that's not original, and so therefore I'm not that excited for, except for, of course, one of these. So the first one is Playground Games' reboot of Fable, which is currently tracking toward a 2026 launch on Xbox Series and PC, using the studio's Forza Tech engine to render a lush, tongue-in-cheek Albion where every moral choice reshapes the landscape and economy in real time. Early footage highlights seamless transitions between sword and spell combat, Monty Python-inflected side quests, and open-world exploration buoyed by dynamic weather, ray-traced foliage, and next-gen haptics that make even the infamous chicken-kicking minigame feel fresh again. THQ Nordic's Gothic 1 remake, in development with Alchemia Interactive with a tentative 2026 window, rebuilds the cult 2001 classic in Unreal Engine 5 while preserving its unforgiving penal colony setting. A playable Nyrus Prologue demo already showed off the overhauled faction reputation system, fully mocapped melee that rewards timed parries over spammed clicks, and expanded quests that deepen the political intrigue between the old camp, new camp, and Swamp Brotherhood, all wrapped in modern lighting and densely voiced dialogue. Finally, Fool's Theory is reforging The Witcher remake under CD Projekt Red's supervision for a launch after The Witcher 4, realistically placing it in 2027 or later. Built on Unreal Engine 5, the project transforms Geralt's 2007 debut into a seamless open world, updates combat with the sign sword fluidity of Wild Hunt, and sprinkles in new narrative bridges that bind his early Kaer Morhen exploits to the later trilogy, effectively turning a beloved but very dated RPG into a contemporary epic without losing its gritty Slavic soul. From Pywel's dragon-ridden battlefields to the plague-choked alleys of medieval Birmingham, the next wave of fantasy is flexing bigger ideas and meaner monsters than ever before. We've seen single-player epics, extraction-style co-op horror, alchemy-laced immersive sims, and a dark sandbox where vampire politics turn castles into night-lit war zones. Plus, 3 iconic franchises sharpening their blades for full-scale remakes. If even one of these worlds struck a chord, make sure to smash those wish lists, share the trailers with your crew, and keep the hype alive. Early buzz really does shape what features make it into launch day builds. But that's all for this rundown. Drop a comment telling me which game you're itching to play first. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the tour, and subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss our next deep dive. Until then, this is Dare to Game signing off. Stay safe, stay hype, and keep gaming medieval. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you liked this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.